Julian, welcome back to Fight Week. How are you feeling?
Man, I'm golden.
Can you grab the mic? Thanks, buddy.
I'm sorry I'm yelling out there. I'm golden. I'm so excited. This is what I live for, is fight week, fight time. Training's grueling, but fighting's fun.
So everybody always says that the training and the practices are the hard stuff, and the fights the fun part.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, man, waking up every day, 4 or 5 practices a day, battling your friends, not being able to actually go as hard as you'd want to, just 'cause you don't want to injure your teammates. And then now we get to go here, and it doesn't matter. Like, the more you injure your opponent, the more you hit your opponent, the more exciting the fans are, and the more publicity you get.
You know, that being said, you know, the Apex isn't known for the biggest of crowds of fans and stuff, but it's still, do you still feel like you get that same effect when you have a nice solid hit on your opponents here in a place like the Apex?
Absolutely. Here at the Apex, you feel it. You can feel everyone's energy in there, right? So all the fans that are there, even though it's a smaller crowd, you can feel and hear their voices and hear their screams a lot more than when you're in a bigger facility. But it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. You can fight in a barn or you can fight in a stage of 300,000 people. It's all going to feel the same.
Have you fought in barns before?
I actually have fought in a barn.
Tell us the story.
So, but technically, if you look at, like, there's this place in Kansas City, it's like Grain Valley, a little outside of it. It's called Whiskey Tangos. And at the time, it's like a giant, like, industrial style barn with like a bar inside of it. But like, we're talking like, it's
Sounds like a honky-tonk bar.
It is a honky-tonk bar, right? So like, they would always give free tickets. And there's a point in time, like, you can ask many fighters from Kansas City that are OGs, like Laura Sanko, we could talk about this. Yeah. But it's like, they didn't even have, like, inside this bar area, there'd be thousands of people in there because they give out free tickets. Their alcohol sales is what brought them the money. Everyone always wanted to do or something because there's nothing else around. So it was this giant, like, warehouse style barn deal. And they would have the fights in the center, and everyone just gets rowdy, white trash, cowboys, all this stuff. They get rowdy drinking beer. But they'll have like 20, 30 fights a night. And like, if your opponent doesn't show up, they would ask people in the crowd if they wanted to fight and pull people out of the crowd. And man, there's some horror stories. Like, if you sat there and had Laura Sanko and I talk about it amongst some other people, we could tell you some pretty wild stories. I saw a grandfather fight his grandson and win in that facility. Like, wild.
That's
fights.
amazing. Well, I want to make sure we set a date for that. We're gonna sit you. We're gonna get Laura down. And we're gonna get some of those stories. I think that'd be amazing.
Oh, it'd be incredible.
What's your favorite part now? Just in Fight Week, you know, is it coming here? I mean, you're one of the people that seems to embrace media days. A lot of other people don't like getting in front. Nobody really likes public speaking. But what would you say outside of the fun on Fight Night is your favorite part of Fight Week?
Man, I just coming here to Vegas, right? Like, I get to see a lot of my friends. Like, I grew up in this facility, right? I was here right when it opened up, and I became friends with, you know, even the janitors, the security guards. So when I come back here, it's like I see an extended part of my family. I'm giving hugs to everybody. They all know me. You know, we just had a fighter, Markel Mirdos. He was sitting there, and he was telling our coach, he's like, look, when I went to the PI, I've never met a person that knows so many people like Julian. Like, he was hugging everybody, shaking their hands, and you're just kind of like, what is going on? But that's one of my favorite parts. I get to see the people that they're grinding here, from strength conditioning to physical therapy to the janitors that have to change the towels or clean up after everyone's chaos. Like, and you get to see them and see how they're doing, and then they get that highlight in their face, like, oh, it's been a while since I've seen you, and like someone that actually cares and talks to them. And I treat everyone the same. So coming here is like being back at home.
And it's been a minute since we've seen you, you know, in the cage, but you get Cody as a name. What were your initial thoughts, and you know, what has this time like been away? I mean, it hasn't been all that long, but it's been a little bit since we've seen you. But you get the call of Cody, you know, I guess just give me your thoughts initially on him as a matchup.
Yeah, when we first got it, like, I was sitting there like, oh, we used to train together, man. Like, what are we doing? We don't fight teammates. And then it got there that he accepted the fight, and I found out he accepted the fight, and I was like, okay, that's it. We're here to battle. This is what we are. This is the business we're in. You know, it has nothing to do with the friendship that we have. It has nothing to do there. We both have to fight for our job. So when I got that, I was like, hell yeah, let's go. Got another fight.
Speaking of that sort of thing, I mean, so would it have been better if he had reached out first and said, hey, FYI, you're one of the names that they're floating in front of me, and would that have made it any different, finding out that way from him beforehand, finding out? I mean, do you feel like, because I hear from fighters all the time, you don't fight friends, you don't fight your teammates. Did you feel any sense of betrayal because he didn't talk with you beforehand, or was it easy to switch into okay, I guess it's just business,
Yeah, no, I don't feel any betrayal at all. Like, the opportunity comes to his door, he has to make the judgment, and then our manager comes to talk to us. That's it. Like, it's a business, He owes no explanation. I understand.
Have you guys talked since the booking?
Since the booking, we talked whenever it happened. I asked him, "Did you accept the fight?" He goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay." I haven't talked to him since. Like, we didn't really talk prior. Like, after I left, Colorado, we didn't really talk as much. I'd check in on him, congratulate him, stuff like that. But we didn't really talk that much. But he's still a great dude.
Yeah. With that being said, I mean, how much does that experience in a training with somebody play an effect, or do you even really think much about that time, or is it more of what you see in his recent fights is the stuff that you pay more attention to, or does any of that training stuff, is it even relevant going into this?
Absolutely not. Like, you can ask any one of my coaches, I'm dog shit in the room.
Yep.
Like, I'm all sitting there methodical thinking, trying to learn new techniques, trying to build stuff, and dude, I'll lose or get tapped out by various types of people because I put myself in situations to grow and to learn and to understand, or I try new things like, whatever combination it is. If I've never thrown it before, I try to do it in there. Well, I don't have the timing right. I don't have the flow right. I don't have majority of that in the correct spot. So when I go to throw it, I'll get caught. And it's like, it's okay. I'm learning. I'm okay with that. So when it comes down to it, like, if you want to use the training, cool, that's fine. This isn't training. Like, I'm trying to educate myself and learn and grow, in the training. And then when it comes to my camp, I'm still doing the same thing, just a little bit harder.
And both of you guys are definitely not afraid to stand in there in the middle and just, throw hands. I mean, do you envision that this is going to be a pretty strike-heavy battle between the two of you?
I envision that he's going to try to get the win any means possible, right? I think he's going to come out there. He's going to try to strike. He's going to go and wrestle when the opportunity's coming. Like, he's a mixed martial artist. But at the end of the day, I know this isn't going to be, a boo or a snooze fest, a boo fest or whatever you want to call it. He's going to come out there and he's going to dish out the same thing that I'm going to dish out. The difference is I'm a fucking dog.
Any extra pressure coming in with a few losses in a row?
Nah, man, it's just like, it's another day. Can't look at the past. What is done is done. It is what it is. At the end of the day, whoever wins on Saturday is going to be the person that advances. The other person's going home.
Last one for me, we were joking and you were talking about earlier, a lot of times when a fighter walks out, that theme song, the music can be either intimidating to your opponent or it can mean something special to the fighter themselves walking out. We know you in the past have walked out to such greats as like Miley Cyrus to have a lot of fun. So what are your thoughts on the walkout song, and do you have any potential hints to what your walkout song might be for this particular event?
The walkout song, so this is a fun fact. Most people don't know this. I don't listen to music. I don't at all. Like, a lot, if you ask me like new stuff or anything like this, like, I don't know anything. I may hear it because I'm riding with somebody and they want to put music on, or if they're riding with me long enough that has to put music on. But I don't like listening to music. So I ask other people, what songs should I walk out to? And they tell me, I'm like, okay, cool. And then I just go with it, right? Like, the music isn't going to do anything for me. Like, if I walked to that cage with no sound, I'd be fine. I can drive, a whole entire road trip with nothing playing all by myself and just be in my own head and have a conversation there.
Fun fact, I think I heard that the UFC will not allow you to walk out to silence. They will at least play like the anthem of where you're from. If you try to go out with no song, they'll play a song for you.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's what I heard.
That would be super intimidating. You just walk out and it's just the sound of everyone breathing. We might be on something right there.
You'd have to put together your own track with that Julian breathing to really get in someone's head.
Oh yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Pootie Tang? Like way back, you remember whenever they had the sound come in, everyone was like, "This is fire!" And there's nothing coming out of the boombox. Dad runs up, turn that loud noise down. That's what we need to bring. That soundtrack, right?
Like just the stop drilling, you've hit oil. That's just $1 million idea right there. Let's go.
Dude, I'm gonna be rich. Take it from the old school movies right there.
Right on, man. You mentioned with Kenny a little bit about this homecoming. And on behalf of everybody who likes violence, thank you for some violent fights. Like we know when Marquez is on the card, you bring it. With the homecoming, has there been any kind of tweaks or changes in the gym to say, okay, let me figure down one notch. That way I can be a little more calculated. Just because this is a familiar foe, I know sparring and real fight is apples to oranges. But because you've seen the face, you know what you're going up against. And you are at home, if you will. Has this brought a different element to Saturday's fight for you?
You know, that's a really good question. There's many different things that we worked on in this camp. There's many different things that you can assess and be like, oh, he does this, he does that. But like when it comes down to the fight, there's nothing more that you can do than yourself. So you improve on yourself. You can't focus on anything else. You can't focus on the outside noise. You have to know, like, hey, me and him hadn't trained with each other for, I don't know how many years, man, a couple years now. Like, we're two evolved people.
You're not the same guys.
We're not the same. So it's like, I'm going to continue on my path and go and do what I have to do and sharpen the tools that I have in my toolbox and just focus on me because, you know, when I focus on me, I do the best. When I focus on them, I'm not the best.
Yes, sir. And last for me, you got that co-main event slot. So wins, losses, sure. UFC always acknowledges people. How cool is it that they know, okay, before the main guys go on, and this is big, you know, fly with implications and rank guys, yada, yada, we got Julian on the card, co-main, to really get people tuning in here.
Dude, when I looked at the card, because I haven't looked at the card. I didn't even know I was co-main. Everyone kept saying that. And then, like, I got here, and they said I was co-main. And I looked at the card, and you see the matchups, and you're like, wow, I got put up there. But they know that I've always been an entertaining fight. Win, lose, or draw. When I got knocked out by RoboCop, guess what? I never took a step back. I got knocked out, but hey, that's cool. The same thing when I fought Barriott. It was entertainment from start to finish, you know? And my last fight, even though I got knocked out, y'all got a knockout. That's what you pay to see, right? That's what we're looking for. It's entertainment, and I'm always going to show up. So I know that they want some highlights. I know that they want something to get the crowd going, whether the people out there want to talk trash on Cody or I. We're out here to do things and to put on an entertaining show. And they put me at the co-main event spot to do that. So I'm going to bring it for them.
Absolutely. I'm sure you'd like an early finish, but are we going to get to see maybe some 15 minutes of hard work, some new tricks up your sleeve we haven't seen before?
We'll find out. You know, I'm not a predictor. You know me. I go for the finish from start to finish, right? I look for it. Whether it's by punches, whether it's by submission, I'm going after it. So if you get 15 minutes of fun, then awesome. If you get 5 minutes of fun, awesome. Either way, it's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining.
And that's why people tune in to see you, sir. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Is that it?
One in the back over here. Julian, fighters often talk about learning more from losses than they do from wins. What are some of the biggest lessons you've taken away from the past year?
Man, you want to say the past year? Buddy, look at my life, man. The past 3 years have been tough. You know what I mean? Every time I get in, I have a loss. And, like, nothing's more embarrassing than getting knocked out, right? Your first, like, big loss after you're doing stuff and you thought everything was going to go right, and you get the loss of a fight like that in front of thousands and then technically millions when you think about TV. And then you start questioning who you are. And then you go out there and you do everything you can, then you go out and get another loss. and you lose your gym, you lose family members, you're lost in life, and you're just trying to figure out, like, one thing that's for certain is this is who I am, this is where I want to be. Each fight isn't who I am. It's what I do outside as a brother, as a son, as a friend, as someone in the community. That's who I am, not coming out here and performing. So when I started looking at it like that, like, my life is okay if I never fought again, you know, and that started making me realize, like, okay, like, I don't have to have all this pressure on me. I don't have to have anything, because if so happened something tragic happened, knock on wood, I wasn't able to step foot in the octagon ever again, my life is going to be fine. I have an amazing family, a great core group. I've built up a lot of stuff on the outside to where I can live life. Now, it's not going to be as fun as, you know, coming out here and talking to you wonderful people, but, like, it's okay. And just not identifying myself with the fighter. I'm more than just that.
Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.